Another day, another episode, another season with the Trinidad and Tobago GOON Fish here on NHL 25. The team is set up and ready to go. Speaking of ready to go, I am ready to talk about Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final because, I was wrong. Last episode, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a Monday, and the series is starting today because I thought it did. And then, it waited. We had to wait until Wednesday, and that was a bit of a bummer. A look at the team, though, really quickly before we simulate the season. We should be a playoff team. We, of course, have Brent Greiba, big-time steal for us. We're setting him up to try and win Rookie of the Year, as you can see, and that could get him to an even higher potential. So he's between Walters and Pugh. That top six is pretty good. Bottom six is still a little bit shaky. Defense is good, though. Doesn't have the best chemistry with this coach, but that's okay. I mean, this team should be a playoff team. This team should win the cup this year, if we're being quite honest with ourselves. So let's see how this year goes. We'll see if we just miss out. But Game 1 of the finals. I mean, amazing that we're here already, right? Down to the rematch. You get Florida, you get Edmonton, and I mean, it's only the second biggest story in hockey outside of the PWHL expansion. And that sounded more condescending than I wanted it to. But legitimately, yesterday was a really good hockey day because I was paying a ton of attention to the PWHL expansion draft and everything that was going on with, of course, now Seattle and Vancouver. Very, very sad that Hillary Knight is heading over to Vancouver to Seattle, excuse me, and like the likes of Sarah Nurse are heading to Vancouver. But yeah, the Hillary Knight one's rough. It was really nice that she was on the Boston Fleet for the first couple years, but yeah, that's a disappointing loss to lose one of the faces of the franchise, but one of the faces of the league still. But hey, this is a friendly reminder to you. If you are not paying attention to the PWHL, now is still a really, really good time to do so. So, hey, there you go. Especially, too, if you are in the Vancouver or Seattle area, you have a team now, in case you somehow did not know. But to the case of the Stanley Cup Final, although, I will say with the PWHL, I'm really intrigued to know how that would go, because for those who don't know about the PWHL expansion, it was the idea that each of the current teams were only allowed, very similar, of course, to NHL expansion, they were only allowed to protect, a limited amount of players. In this case, though, it was like 3 players per team that were allowed to be protected, and that was it. And it really got me thinking about the NHL and how that would look. Obviously, the protective list would be much higher because of the amount of teams. Like we saw that with Vegas and Seattle. But it's like, man, what if it was limited to just that few protective spots? Like, granted, I mean, Seattle and Vegas didn't have the worst expansion teams of all time, certainly. And there, of course, is a reason for that. And that is because the league did not want a repeat of the Columbus Blue Jackets struggles or, a lot. Be honest, a lot of expansion teams struggled in the history of the NHL. Anyway, Edmonton, Florida, ridiculous Game 1. I mean, what a comeback for the Oilers, though. I mean, you get the first goal, you give up 3 straight, and it's like, oh, they might be cooked. And this was so crucial for the Oilers to be able to battle back like they did, because if you lose that first game to the Florida Panthers, who are already going to be feeling confident because they beat you last year, even though it was close, it's a scary proposition, right? But, man, credit to the Oilers. I think it was near 50 shots on goal by the end of the game. And it just seemed like, again, man, if Edmonton loses this game, it's really turning into one that they should win. And you can't give up games like that to the Panthers. Like, if you should beat them, you need to beat them, especially in the finals. And they managed to come back. As crazy as that is, I mean, credit to Florida with, the performance from Sergei Bobrovsky, the performance of Sam Bennett had 2 of the 3 Florida Panthers goals. Dude, he has 12 goals in the playoffs so far. It's ridiculous. But you think about all those chances that the Oilers had, right? It's kind of crazy. Like, you had fucking breakaway after breakaway, it felt like. I mean, at least 2 notable ones that come to the forefront for me. But it was the depth that helped get the Oilers to overtime that they needed. You get a goal from Victor Arvidsson. Podkolzin had the primary on that. You had Matthias Ekholm, of course, back. Gets his first goal of the playoffs. I know McDavid had the primary on that. Kapanen had the second. But I talked about that, right? Heading into this was the idea of like, man, you got your Arvidssons, your Boltkolsons, your Kapanens. Even if Kapanen can be a little bit inconsistent, it's still that idea of like the depth of the Oilers is playing that much better than it was last year. And then you get to overtime, and of course, I mean, Perry, McDavid, and then Draisaitl the goal. I mean, that top line is ridiculous, man. Corey Perry, by the way, he has one of the more fascinating careers in NHL history. Genuinely, I can't help but feel that way. Going from, what he was for the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, winning a Stanley Cup in, I think, like his second full season, if that. Shout out to Perry, by the way, Portland Pirates legend. He had Ryan Getzlaf. God, I miss my AHL team so much. But, for Perry, it's like, okay, he's on the Ducks forever. Like, he had done, such a good job in terms of being that, like, consistent scoring threat. He has a Hart Trophy or Rocket Richard. Like, he's one hell of a player. And then, he goes to Dallas and like, well, what's his highlight of Dallas? It's probably being ejected from the Winter Classic, right? And then he goes to Montreal and it was an interesting tenure in Montreal. Of course, you had like the COVID Cup and everything. Goes to Tampa for a couple of years, goes to Chicago for a year, and then finds this home again in Edmonton. And just, again, I don't know if the argument's going to necessarily be out there for Hockey Hall of Famer or anything like that, but I mean, he's won everything essentially that there is to win. I mean, he won a Memorial Cup, he won a Stanley Cup already. I mean, I don't know. It's just super, super interesting. Best way to sum it up is just what a win for the Oilers that they so desperately needed. Again, you could not let the Panthers get away with one and walk away with the W after you outplayed them, because that'll kill you in a series like that. And we've seen it, right? Game 3, Toronto. Hate to bring it up, Leafs fans, but Leafs win that series. I don't see the Florida Panthers reverse sweeping them, right? I just don't. The Leafs had a chance to put their foot down, and they didn't do it. And yes, this is only game 1 of this series, but it was a chance for the Oilers to put their foot down and say, yeah, we're in this series. We are going to beat you. And that's what you need to do, right? You need to bully the bully a little bit. And I feel like that's what the Oilers did by winning this particular game. I think it was we must have made the playoffs, by the way, if we're getting this pop-up. I think it was Draisaitl's. Yes, there we go. Draisaitl's third overtime winner of the postseason so far. And there it is. We have made the playoffs for the very first time with some games to spare. I mean, we're right up there with the New York Sirens on 81 points, but I guess it's enough. I mean, with that record, it was almost impossible for us to not make the playoffs, 29, 11, and 3. But we have made it for the very first time while having the league's best defense/goaltending in terms of goals against per game. Our offense is still a little bit hit or miss, but we've made it. Let's find out what the seeding is going to be at the very least. But the important thing is we are playoff bound for the very first time here. So again, I'll continue to talk about and use these videos as a way to kind of talk about everything that's going on in the hockey world. Like I said, not just the NHL, of course, but obviously the Stanley Cup Final is going to be the focus. But let's take a look here. I mean, yeah, this division's ours for the first time. Playoffs for the first time. Things are looking very, very good. That said, in regards to the Stanley Cup playoffs, like, dude, if you were to tell me the Panthers are going to win the series in 5, I'd believe you, because I still refuse to doubt the Panthers. But again, still backing the Oilers for this postseason. For this postseason, though, in game, I'm backing us. I think we can go all the way here. We win our division. The New York Sirens have also made the playoffs. Admittedly, we kind of beat down on a weaker division, but don't worry about it. It's fine. Let's see, that East Division, the Ottawa Charge, Buffalo Sabres. See, they also beat down on a weak division, so I feel fine. Central Division, the Utah Yeti, only team to make it as the defending Cup champ Mammoth are out. Damn, that was a pretty competitive division, though. And in the West, the Anchorage Ice Tigers, the only team to make it. Speaking of weak divisions, Jesus Christ, Anchorage has made it with just 67 points. That is insane. If we were in that division, we would have made the playoffs multiple seasons ago. Misfits Division, the Florida Panthers and the Columbus Heat have made the playoffs, just barely over the Jets and Penny Pinchers, by the way. East Division, the Toronto Scepters and the Boston Fleet. So we have some PWHL representation. Very competitive division there, too. Central Division, the Houston Sharpshooters have made the playoffs as well. Very weak division there, 2 sub-50-point teams. And the final division, of course, the San Francisco Starfleet, who just do not go away. We were just 4 points off of winning the President's Trophy behind the Utah Yeti. It was our time to finally step up, and we did. And I feel like Walters was stuck on 77 points. Dude, who cares if he was stuck on 77 points? The man scored 50 goals in 47 games. Outrageous from Pete Walters. Good Lord. I don't think I set him up to try to win an award this year or something. Apparently I should have. Outstanding from Walters. 5-star shooting, 5-star puck skills. He's a beast. He is an absolute beast. And then Liam Pugh on 53 points. Of course, he has a full house of abilities. And then Gryba, the rookie, 46 points. I mean, just under a point per game. There's no way he didn't win the Calder, right? Who could have possibly done better? Belchet's on 45 points. Of course, has 5 abilities. Lundberg on 34. Of course, he still has a gold. 33 points for Salonen. Honestly, the point scoring was down apparently, but I'm happy with our lines. LaBelle and Lindstrom were the only 2 guys under 21 points. The team depth was actually pretty good. Defensively, Maloney 33 points. Ruchin and Dowell both eclipsed 20. That's not too bad. And then goaltending-wise, Buckley, 28 wins, had a 909, Harnsdam, a 927. So our goaltending finally started to figure it out as well. Sweet. Let's see. Nathan McKinnon, 104 points. Connor Bedard, 102. So case in point, 50 goals is nice. But, when there's 2 versions of Dylan Gunther out there, one of whom plays with Nathan McKinnon, it's a little bit scary to say the least. Goal scorers, who else? Felix Pox is up there. There was a lot of 50 goal scorers, though. Draisaitl, Matthews, Corey, Vesey, Kachuk, and McKinnon. Damn. Let's see. Defensively, 66 points for Adam Fox on Houston. Cale Makar was up there, and then it kind of drops a little bit. Brock Faber, a couple of versions of him was up there. Sophie Jocks also up there as well. For the goalies, the winningest was Fowler and Buckley. Technically, Buckley did it in 1 fewer games, so I'd give it to Damien there. And in terms of goalie of the year, odds are it's going to be Trey Augustine or Sam Bethime winning the Vezina this year, more than likely. And for the rookies, I had to ask, didn't I? Per Gertz is going to win the Calder, likely over Brent Gryba. I am sad. I am very sad. But you know what? We started this season not really worrying about the Calder. We worried about the playoffs. And, well, the good news is here we are for the very first time in this playoff format. And it means that we have a first-round bye, is what that means. Let's fucking go. That's sick. Which means we are very, very close to being where we want to be. We have to win just 2 series, and then, bam, we're in the championship round. If we can do it. So let's find out who we are going to play. We have a shorter path to get there, MLB style, of course, with a Super Bowl final. And let's take a look here. We'll get our first set of results. Columbus is out. The New York Sirens are out to the Ottawa Charge. And we are going to draw the Ottawa Charge in this home and away as Ottawa beats New York, Buffalo over Anchorage, Boston over San Fran, and Houston over Columbus. So we get Toronto, Boston, Florida, Houston, Utah, Buffalo, Trinidad and Tobago against Ottawa. The Ottawa Charge. And of course, you see there, it's a battle of offense versus defense. Funny enough, our power play and special teams in general blew theirs out of the water, but they have had a better time of scoring goals over the course of the full season. So let's take a look. It is the Ottawa Charge, led by Cutter Gauthier, Shane Pinto, and Daniel Boo. Emil Hemming, Dave Ward, and Paavo Fugelberg. That's insane. Samuel Honzik, Jack Nesbitt, and Yaroslav Schmelar. I'm not sure. Cameron Berg, Cale Dock, and Rob Allison. The defense, damn, that's a really weird defense. Alexander Pushkarev and Artyom Lashunov, Ashton Bell and Vladimir Drevecki, Todd Ben and Maurice Robida. Very interesting. The AI is running Pushkarev on that top pairing. They normally don't do that. And in goal, Philip Gustafsson alongside Joseph Wall. Scratches of Marcus Naslund, Luca Blonda, and Torsten Havlid. I mean, they're going to have the better depth. With respect to Cutter Gauthier, I think we have the better star power. Again, it is just 2 games. No best of 7, 2 games. And whoever scores more goals over the course of those 2 games, that is who advances to the next round. We head to Ottawa for game number 1, the away leg against the Charge. I'm excited for this playoff format, man. Very, very excited. Let's see how we do. First period, not a great start. Goals for Berg and Pushkarev. Carson has the first ever playoff goal in franchise history for us, at least in this run. Second period. Okay, goal apiece. Liam Pugh and Shane Pinto. So Ottawa still up 3-2 here. Make it 3-3 for Pete Walters. Nice. Make it 4-3. Power play goal for Liam Pugh. Nice comeback effort. We are destroying them in shots, by the way. Oh, my God. Extended power play, no goal. It's a shame because we had a great power play. Hanzik makes it 4-4. Not a great performance from Buckley in this one. We might be going to overtime here. And no overtime in game 1 because it is on aggregate. Okay, I wasn't sure if it would send us to overtime or not. So, in essence, I don't know if away goals are factored into this like it used to be for like the Champions League and stuff like that. It is either that this first game is now just completely irrelevant, or we are in a good spot because we scored 4 goals on the road. Meaning if the next game were to end 1-1, it's either we go to overtime or we have them on a away goal tiebreaker. And I don't quite remember what the example is, so let's just hope that we win. But a 4-4 result on the road to kick off this series, not a bad way to start. Like I said, we got 4 goals on the road in case that's the setup. And at the very least, we didn't lose, right? Heading home as well for this one. Does Damian Buckley get the start, man? He was so bad. He was so bad in game 1. Shout out to Pekka Salonen, by the way, who developed unstoppable force. I think we might want to send down Gryba. Like, if we can stack a top line, we should. I mean, we could put up Lundberg and go like Gryba, Salonen, Belchets, Walters, Lundberg, and Pugh. We'd actually put Pugh there to get that +5. I think that's the way to go. We want that top line up there, and we want that top line stacked if we can get it that way. Goalie-wise, Buckley, I mean, he's got to be the guy. He's got to be. He was atrocious last game, but he's got to be the guy. Live and die with him, and there's not much time to live. There's not much time before we might be dead in this challenge. It is, and I know I went to play a game. I want to take a look here, but it is the decisive game of this series. Love our alternates, of course, with the red helmets. Snipe, I was going to say Snipe, but it was Vasi who did such a great job this time out. With these, Ottawa, of course, just kind of generic, very, very similar color schemes. 73 rated offense to their 85. That's what I was wondering. Apparently, our offense is atrocious. I still don't understand how the game decides that, because it doesn't just take like the 12 different overalls and divide it. You know, it's really weird. Game number 2, the end all be all. Are we moving on to the next round? First period, and it's 1-0. Okay, so we are ahead 5-4 on aggregate right now, thanks to the goal from Lindstrom. Second period, we're now ahead 6-4 on aggregate. Pete Walters on the power play. So the scenario here is Ottawa needs 2 goals to potentially force overtime, but also it could be that 2 goals isn't enough because we scored 4 on the road, and it could end in a 2-2 tie that still sees us go through. We're in a phenomenal spot here. We would really have to choke, and we got a shorthanded goal from Salonen. I think we got this in the bag. Power play from Ottawa. I mean, it is now 7-4 on aggregate. Make it 7-5. Ward on the power play. Belchitz gets a goal back. Yeah, this one's over. We got this in the bag. The boys showed up on home ice, and we need to watch our first ever handshake line here with this team. We definitely do. The Goonfish of Trinidad and Tobago moving on to the Final Four. Gotta be honest, I like this playoff format just because you don't have time to overthink lines or anything like that. It's just, okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. You know what? We might as well play the last 3 seconds instead of watching it. That way I can kind of keep the clock running if there's a face-off. And let's be honest, we barely get any gameplay in here on this channel anyway. Good save by Buckley, though. Lindstrom. Oh, he's slow. Colborne. Big man, reverse hit. We know we'll be able to reverse hit people for fun. LaBelle can't bury it. I mean, dude, playing with a good squad's pretty damn fun because everyone's fantastic. Pull a mine in it, poke the head. It's hit by LaBelle. See Lindstrom. I want to think it's Aiden Lindstrom, but we know it's not. It's not going to be that good. Good hit from pull a mine and whoops. Fouls lately. Lindstrom not offside. Okay, take that. Go back to the point. Doesn't matter. Kolamainen will skate it down. And the Goonfish of... Whoops. Just kidding. Wanted to hit somebody one more time. The Goonfish of Trinidad and Tobago get the win. We're off to the Final Four. Ooh, I like the pass on Buckley. Not a great color scheme fit, but we'll take it. Indeed. All right, the Goonfish moving on. Oh, to the next round. I was a little bit worried. I mean, again, because I'm not quite sure of the format, but there we go. That's all we needed to know is that the boys can get it done. Indeed, they do. Our first trip to the playoffs, our first successful trip through a handshake line as we march on. Face, well, somebody in the third round. Not sure who. Great job by Buckley, by the way. Just 1 goal allowed. Went from being doubted to doing what he needed to do and getting that win for us. You know, we do some solid memes from time to time, and there is perhaps no greater meme than bestowing the starter helmet upon, well, our starter. And I don't know what our starter mask is going to be right now, but damn it, we're going to take the time. Made on iPad. What the fuck are these? Oh, that's right. Okay, I remember these being advertised now. Like, wait a minute, what the hell is this? And, you know, I get that they're for specific NHL players, but it'd be kind of nice not to have just a big-ass Devils logo on that. When we say other leagues, how far down can I scroll? I don't know why it just doesn't put all the other leagues in individual tabs. I guess they don't want too many tabs. God, those national team helmets are still in, and they still suck. And there's so many helmets from the freaking junior leagues that still suck. And then there's the PWHL, which is actually pretty sick. We could take the Ottawa Charge helmet just to rub it in the face of our enemies here. I think we normally had the Wheeling Nailers mask as the starter bucket. But is there a better one? That is the question. I don't know if there is, and I also really don't want to waste too much time on this. I don't even know why I'm doing this in the first place. I'm just going to disrupt our playoff momentum, man. Why am I doing this to myself? Why do so many of those national team helmets still suck, and why are they the same ones that we've had for the last 20 years? I don't know. They just are. Some things are the way that they are. You just got to accept it. Can I have a cool helmet for this color scheme? How is it so difficult to find a cool helmet for red, black, and white? Like, it really shouldn't be that tough to find a good helmet. Dinamo Pardubice. I hit the wrong button. Well, remember that Devil's mask from before? There you go. Our goalie is now Jacob Markstrom, hopefully in the best ways and not the bad ways. Bad ways in terms of like inconsistency and injuries at different points in time in his career. So the question now is, who do we draw? And the answer is going to be Buffalo, isn't it? And indeed it is. We draw the Buffalo Sabres in the penultimate round of the playoffs as they eliminated Utah, the number 1 seed, Utah squad in an 11-7 fashion. Boston upsets Toronto on the other side, while Florida also sneaks past Houston. So Florida, Boston, Trinidad, Tobago, and Buffalo. I mean, we're within reach. We are within reach. This playoff format goes that quickly. Let's take a look at the Sabres, who we know have had success in this timeline. Oh, Jesus. Boris Nabokov, Connor Bedard, and Dylan Gunther, Mikhail Vasicek, Adam Bannock, and Ty Cartier, Antti Salane, Liz Sheppers, and Francesco Pinelli, and Oscar Fisker-Molgaard, Ray Trevica, and Will Dominguez. Defense, Daniil Orlov and Louis Alex Tremblay, Ethan Del Mastro with Zeev Buyum, and Tyson Jugnoth. What a name. With Gavin McCarthy. In goal, Madge Sogard and Corinne Schneider. With a Nick Schmaltz, Michael Fisher, and Gavin White set of scratches. I mean, look, it's Connor Bedard. We might always be underdogs when it comes to like, hey, Connor Bedard's in their lineup. But again, this team might just be top heavy enough to overcome some of these depth issues. It might be. Of course, we technically have home ice advantage in the series, so the second game is at home. We travel to Buffalo. We see what we can do here in the road leg. First period, 2-0 Sabres. Bedard and Trevica. Not great. Second period, 4-1 Sabres. Oh, man. LaBelle has our only goal so far. Trevica and Solani each got one. We need to minimize the damage here. We cannot let the Sabres score again, I would say even if we don't, but man, 4-1's a rough deficit. Power play that we couldn't do anything with. We're halfway through this period. This is bad news. Sjogard's shutting us down. Dominguez makes it 5-1. It's a long road back and a short amount of time to complete the journey. The Buffalo Sabres take game one, 5-1, as we apparently just cannot start Buckley on the road. This is what we've learned. Down 5-1, man. Damn. Is there any way to survive this then? Because I feel like the top line got shut down. And if the top line gets shut down, we're in a bit of trouble. Harenstam's coming in. Defensively, top pairing really got roughed up. The third pairing's doing okay. Let's swap Dowell and Wotherspoon. And then from here, let's split up our top three players. So Lundberg, Walters, and Pugh will all be on their own line. We'll put Salonen with Lundberg. We'll put Belchets with Pugh. And then we need Walters to carry using the two highest rated players aside from those guys, like out of the remaining options. The best way I'm trying to think of how to describe it here. Who can play center best between these two? Nobody really but Jordan LaBelle. Colborne, center. Salonen, lefty-righty. Lundberg, lefty-righty. That's fine. 78 faceoffs for Lundberg. Salonen, 68. Let's put Salonen on the left. So Pugh, Carson, and Belchets. Carson, 61 faceoffs. I imagine Belchets is better. He is not. Okay. And then Walters, Greiba, and Grice. Different strategy, but let's spread the wealth a little bit. We need a lot of goals in this game if we're going to come back. We are down 5-1 as Harenstam takes the net. We need a big result, like I said. First period, 1-1. So it's now 6-2 on aggregate as Liam Pugh has his goal. I mean, he offsets Bedard, but still. 6-2 Sabres. 7-3 Sabres. We need 4 goals. We need 4 goals. And then we need to outscore them at least 4-0 this period and hope that it goes to overtime and that they don't have the away goal differential because they've already scored more away goals than we did. We need to outscore them 4-0 here, bare minimum. They get a goal, it's pretty much GG's. Are we up to the task, or will the Sabres head to the Cup final? We got 10 minutes. Not looking good. Not looking good. The Buffalo Sabres, just too much for us. And they win big, 7-3 on aggregate. They are heading to the championship round. Harenstam was great, but ultimately we didn't have the offensive punch that we needed, which was always likely to be our Achilles heel, as it looks like the Sabres will be playing the Florida Panthers in that championship round. It's tough to look at player stats and overly judge because we only got 4 games. But Grice, Kolamainen, and Dowell, the only guys that had a point. Maloney only had 1 point. And Liam Pugh did well. Lundberg, just 2 points. That's not good enough. But I don't know. Goal for this year was to make the playoffs, right? I'm happy that we did. But I still feel like this team could have gone on a run. I mean, literally, we were just a game away, but ultimately a fair amount of goals away from making it to the final. We'll save the draft for next time. Well, actually, no, we won't, because it's easier for me to do some of the off-season stuff off of the videos. The Buffalo Sabres won the Cup, so there you go. I mean, we did lose to the team that ended up winning it all, as they beat Florida in the final by a score of 6-0. God, if we beat Buffalo, what could have been? What could have been? I mean, it was us and Utah, 4 goals difference. I mean, Anchorage lost by 8, Florida lost by 6. Buffalo was really, really good. Can't hate on them. They were really, really good. There you go, 5 years, 5 different Cup winners. Nathan MacKinnon led the league in scoring. He wins the Art Ross. He also wins the Hart Trophy this year. The Norris to Adam Fox in Houston. Calder does go to Gertz in Houston as well. Conn Smythe went to Nabokov. Okay. Vezina to Bethune. Buckley wins the Jennings, which is nice. Jack Adams to Ottawa's coach. Shane Wright wins the Selke for the Seattle Storm Bears. Ted Lindsay Award to Nathan MacKinnon. Rocket Richard to who else but Pox. And in the AHL, the New York Rangers won the Calder Cup. Didn't even notice that. I don't think we're going to have anybody overly noticeable, although McChesney, our own defenseman, Eddie Shore Award, top defender in the league. Good for McChesney. And Urunen was the MVP of that Rangers Calder Cup winning team. But hey, we had a Defender of the Year. That's pretty good. Maybe Chesney can keep taking some good steps forward. But you know what? We might as well get to the draft here really quickly because it's going to be brutal. We're going to be picking as late as we've ever selected. We were in the Final Four. You saw how much of a miracle it was for us to get somebody decent with the 29th pick as the 2 Seattle franchises. Well, 2 out of 4. But 2 Seattle teams, top 2 picks. And where are we selecting this year? I mean, I think it would be technically 46th, 45th, 46th. So it's going to be a little bit rough. Retired players, Sam Reinhart, Mitch Marner, Sasha Barkov, Patrick Laine, a couple of different Nick Schmaltzes. Patrick Laine retired as a Maine Mariner. Got Vince Dunn, Shabbat, Forsling, Dursey, among others. A couple different versions of Sean Dursey up there. And in goal, Mackenzie Blackwood, a trio of Carl Vamelkas. I keep forgetting sometimes just how cursed this file was. Patrick Laine becomes a coach. Be a suitor. Becomes a scout. Maybe we go for Coach Laine. It'd be for a Fortnite team, right? Not our NHL team. All right, let's see what we can do. Not going to worry if there was a franchise level player in the draft, although let's see what the Storm Bears end up with. A medium elite named Holmberg. We do indeed have the 46th pick in the draft. Let's see who's out there. Let's see if we can find anybody to end things on a little bit of a little bit of a positive note. I mean, it is still a positive note that we made the playoffs and did well, but damn, am I bummed that we couldn't beat Buffalo there. So let's see. We do have a DFD there. Another potential DFD in Kraus. That's an OFD, another OFD. All right, defense is looking pretty rough, unfortunately. We have right wing side, power forward. A medium 9 grinder, maybe. A low 9 enforcer. Left wing side, grinder, power forward, grinder. Another potential set of power forwards. We'll look at the medium 9s now, at least in the first round, for the same reason that we did last year. And then centers, a couple of power forwards in the mix. But ultimately, probably not that much that's going to go well for us. So let's see. Guys that are projected next. There is the goalie in Jermaine Harrison. 4 years out, Braden Holtby comparison. He's going to be good. Not that we need a goalie, but still. Matthias Bergqvist. 3 years out. I mean, mid-60 overall, but a confirmed medium 9. So, he's going to be fine. What about Abraham Landry? Same thing. Nothing too special. Barry Krause on Medicine Hat. Same thing. 3 years out. Starter goalie and Jurgen Dolak, who, Cam Ward comparison. No, thank you. Stanley Cup winner, though. Colin Jackman. Again, 3 years out. So right now, what it's looking like is we go for that goalie, or we take a risk on someone who's projected to be 3, maybe 4 years out. That is about the best we can hope for. We're not going to find any 70 overall rated dudes this time. Yeah, not going to happen. Damn. Well, if you talk about what we need the most, it still probably would be that forward help, given what we just saw happen in the playoffs. Ranta's not that good. Anybody else before we hit our time here? Doesn't look like it. Reese will be available next round, so that's fine. Do we take the goalie? Jermaine Harrison. 4 years out, so he's going to be mid to low 60s. I think I'd rather risk it for a forward. Out of those forwards, again, Bergqvist was a medium 9, 3 years out. Pretty much, anybody we can find that's up here. So there's Mikhail Tutin, who is 3 years out at 17. Man, he was undersized, too. I don't know if he's actually going to be a power forward. That's scary. Audette's at least 6'1". 4 years out at 18. Pitton doesn't have to be taken until later. What about Curry? Timo Curry, 6'1", 5 years out. Koski Ranta is the guy who apparently can't skate worth a damn. Oh, man. We might want to settle for that medium 9. I'd like to take Mikhail Tutin, but, if we have a first rounder and we can't even end up using him, what the hell's the point? I think it might just have to be Bergqvist. A steady, reliable pick. If it's not him, it's Abraham Landry, who's at least huge. It might be better than Bergqvist. Bergqvist is a big boy, too, for that matter. And Voloshenko and Waite. Maybe we'll just go for Landry because he's the only one that doesn't have his potential at least a 3 out of 4. Because Voloshenko's at 3 out of 4, and then obviously Waite and Bergqvist, you have those confirmed. Let's go for Monktons. Abraham Landry. 62 overall, medium 9. Yeah, it's to be expected. That is to be expected. I don't think there's any use being upset about that or anything. Was that a goalie? No, it wasn't. It was a grinder. It caught me off guard that there was a grinder in the top 5. I'm immensely jealous. All right, let's see who we might have missed out on. I'm only looking at confirmed player types here. Harrison was a 59. Power forward, Bergfist, was a 62. Yeah, Dolak. Krause wasn't that good. Honestly, I'm only going to be looking now. My eyes are focused on good potentials. In which case, it really didn't matter. I don't even know if that other guy we were looking at was an eligible player. If he wasn't that good. So, yeah, if we end up with anything higher than a medium 9 in this draft, I'll honestly have to be pretty happy. This is not looking too good. We did not want to go to trade pick. Thank you. No trades. It is a draft of glory after all. So next up is Byron Wilson. 4 years out at 18. Another goalie, Abel Cruz, who's 19. No, thank you. Koski Ranta's there again at 19, 4 years out. I'd rather probably go for Wilson. After that, we go all the way down to Reese. Ross Reese, another goalie. Okay, there's no way he's a medium lead. I guarantee he's a fringe, but damn. To be nearly NHL ready is always interesting. Bureau, 17, 4 years out. Anybody else? Not really. Oh, my God. What about Lou Wolf, 20 years old, 4 years out? No, thank you. Jack Cross, 20 years old, 4 years out. No, thank you. This is, this is as bad as I expected. Doug Helm, 5 years out at 17. Backus is a low 9, but at least is an enforcer. Not a particularly good one, but is an enforcer. Brad Leota, 20 years old, potentially 4 years out. I got to be honest, it's either Backus or it's that goalie. There's also Ville Curry, who is not that good. And Ross Linden. I'm taking the enforcer, man. Just give me someone who will punch some faces. Screw it. Let's take the enforcer. I think that goalie will be good, but who cares? Like, we really don't need another goalie. So let's see. End of the round. Williams, Silverberg. Do we have anybody else with a really good potential at all? Cruz was a 55. Koski Ranta was a medium 6, but 61 overall at 19. And indeed, can't skate worth a damn. The potential would have been nice to have, but I really don't feel like we missed out on that much, you know? It did say he was, I think, 3 out of 4 confirmed for a medium 6 or something like that, but again, we knew the attributes would suck. Has that goalie not been taken? There he is, 74 medium fringe. Okay, yeah, medium fringe is expected. Off to Columbus. Ribeiro wasn't eligible for us anyway. Yeah, very, very slim pickings here. Who else do we have then? Who's on our board? 3 people. Jesus. Well, we can swing it to get Linden, Hedberg, and then Pitton. That's what we'll do. 18-year-old Ross Linden out of Moncton is the pick. He's a low 9. Son of a bitch. We're not getting anything from this draft. No shot, huh? No shot. Next up is going to be Ludwig Hedberg, the big defenseman out of Malmo. Let's see. Low elite, but only at 54. 18 years old. It's not bad, honestly. I'm pretty happy with the low elite, even though, as I've mentioned quite a few times, they're not what they used to be in these games in terms of good potentials. And the other guy's not even there anymore. Damn. Well, who's the next player on the list we could even take? Biedrich Baran. No, thank you. After that is Maximus Wright. Screw it. Take him. Why not? Medium bottom 6 enforcer. I'm fine with that. Another enforcer in this draft. And the final dude. Oh my God. Do we even know anything about anybody anymore? Barely. Okay. And that is when we say let's take the biggest dude possible. Who's the tallest goalie? 6'4"? Where's like my 6'7" goalies, man? Come on. Let's see. all players 6'6", either a 19-year-old or a 17-year-old Vincent Laflemme from the Charlottetown Islanders. So, Vinny, you're the guy. You become our third enforcer of the draft. Beautiful. And round number 7. It's not going to be Jaqueezy. We took the tallest. Who's the heaviest? Michel Traverse is the heaviest. But here's kind of the middle ground. Dorian Shugihara out of Red Deer. 6'5", 236 at 18. And that is another enforcer. Living up to the Goon Squad legacy is this most recent batch of Goons. But we are on the precipice, at least I hope, of making it all the way to a championship. The big question is, was last season a fluke, or are we actually going to be okay? We'll find out shortly. Let me see if there's anything interesting to note about some of the re-signings. I think for the most part, we're going to be okay. We do have some UFAs to figure out. Here, again, we'll just go through this really quickly. So Buckley, give him what he wants. Let's give Harenstam what he wants, because, again, no cap. Qualify Staples. We're finally, I think we're, I mean, you got to figure, like, we're going to have Maxwell next year. Screw it. Let's keep Brooks if we can. Let's keep Deno if we can. Just to keep the AHL strong. Defensively, we need to re-sign Dowell. Got to hit those RFAs for Schroeder and Festerini. Hedberg still probably going to be too good for us to pass up. Got McChesney up to a 74. That's not too bad. Hoagland. How many defensemen do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one dude is a holdover. That's it. Hedberg could be signed from Malmo, which means we could let go of 2 dudes tops. So honestly, we'll just let go of Hoagland, who's not that good. Where was he drafted? 3rd round back in 2026. But Sven, your time has come to an end, and we will qualify the 2 other RFAs. Right wing side, you already know we're hitting the Chushkin with that qualifying offer. Stevenson could spend 1 more year in junior. Might as well, honestly. Landry, the medium 9. Played for Moncton, that's right. Out of those defenders, the rest of them just sucked. That's why I didn't sign him. That's right. Ule is, he's just bad. He's a 2-way anyway. We can't sign him. So, there you go. He's gone. The rest of these potentials kind of suck. Right played for Guelph. Left wing side. Got to qualify Walters. Got to qualify Belchets for $22 million. Got to keep Carson. For now, Lindstrom and LaBelle. We still need those higher overalls. We do still need those higher ratings, just to kind of keep morale up a little bit. And then for the centers, Fichaud is bad. 6th round pick, is an enforcer at least, but is barely physical. So, honestly, screw it, we'll sign you. Why not? We just need forwards at this point. So let's see what we have here. Dowell is back, and that just means the rest are RFAs. So you know we're going to be bringing them back no matter what. Which means next time you see this team, we'll be at the start of next season and ready to go, hopefully, to get to the championship round.